Hello! My third time trying to do this, going live here in Intuitive Angel Messages. And I'm going to invite Dee on. She should be, on the group wall, and then when she comes in, I can, add her on in. But Dee is a psychic medium as well, and in the course coming up, she's going to be one of the teachers as well as I am. And this is going to be a really exciting course coming up. I always like doing the courses in December, before Christmas, have all that good angelic energy in that comes in and source frequency that comes in near Christmas time. It's pretty cool. Hi, Beth Odom. How are you doing? Beth is one of the teachers as well coming up in December. And so we're going to have 4 different medium teachers teaching everyone this time. So that's even more than we usually have, we usually have 3. So I think that's really exciting. I love seeing Layla, your dog, Beth. She seems like she's loving it wherever you guys are at. Renata's here. Hello, Renata. And then, so let me see. I think I'm live here on the group wall. Hopefully this time this works. Okay, so hello, Paul. And then we have Dee coming on here in a second. So when you're watching Dee, there's a thing on the bottom. It looks like there's 2 people right next to each other, but you press that, and then I can allow you to come on. It's kind of complicated. So when you have your phone like this, you press the bottom one. It looks like it has 2 people on it, like you're adding on a guest. So if you do that, but you have to be watching while you're doing it. Okay. For some reason I can't see you on here. That's really weird. To invite you, on the viewers, you have to be watching the viewer. Okay, there we go. See it. Hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm good. So I had to call Audible and do this on my cell phone. So let me just get a little situated. I guess that I don't have the right icon when it's on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
for some reason I can't hear you very well. I might have to put on these AirPod things. I don't know. I've never. Let's see. I can hear you now, so that's good.
Can you?
Yeah, for some reason my phone.
Everybody hear me?
Yes, I think everyone can.
Okay, good.
Check in the comments. I'm gonna pull up the live over here so that we can, if we do see any comments or any questions or anything like that, we'll, be able to see people.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was weird. I went live on StreamYard and then my face was going crazy. I couldn't even see my face on there. So that was pretty crazy. And then I was like, all right, I'll just go live on Facebook. And then I went live on my Facebook page or something. And then I went live in the group. Finally, I'm here.
I know, that was a minute because we just had a bunch of different technical issues. So if you joined us earlier, sorry we're late, but we're here to enjoy and have a wonderful live and talk about channeling together.
Yeah.
And I heard that you introduced me a little bit, so thank you. I am so excited to be a part of this new beginners course starting December 1st. Thank you. And so
sorry. Yeah, for sure. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit more? So you've you've taken some of the courses, and
Yeah,
would you call yourself a psychic medium, or what would you call yourself?
that's a thing that is really difficult for me is that I don't resonate with labels like at all.
Yeah, me
Like
neither.
I have a really hard time with labels because I do so many different things and I've never been able to find a label that would fit perfectly
Mm,
explaining what I do or who I am. It just feels limiting. You know what I mean when I say that?
yeah, for sure. It
What
definitely
do
is limiting.
yeah, what do you call yourself?
Well, I usually call myself an enlightened, superior individual. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm a channeler slash shaman slash Reiki. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I just call myself a channeler, usually or psychic channeler or something like that, just because
Yeah.
it kind of helps. It's the labels, they don't really mean anything. I don't really like going. I don't like labels either. But I do like, it does allow people to like show people what you're doing. Like, oh, okay,
Yes.
this is what he sort of does. I guess he does. Some channeling here, some of this there, something like that.
I know when I started doing more YouTube videos and I realized, there's a need for me to like introduce myself and try to say what I do and how I do it. And so I would just start talking and I would just start listing like I'm a Reiki master, I'm a channeler, I'm a medium, I'm an energy intuitive, I'm an animal communicator. Like and then it just gets really awkward because
Yeah,
you're like, but most importantly, I'm D. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, a
exactly.
translator for the non-physical to physical, that's what Kristen says. I agree. Like it's really interesting to put a
Yeah,
label on it, but it's
yeah. You put
important for
yourself in
people
kind of
to
like a group, don't you?
yeah,
When you put a label on yourself, you're putting yourself in some sort of group or identity or something a lot of times, and that can be annoying. Like I've been vegan for a long time, and I don't really like resonate with most vegans. That are a lot of the vegans out there that are kind of,
oh,
they're kind of there's a lot of crazy vegans out there.
yeah,
so
like the
so I'm just like,
crosswords.
yeah, I'll just say I'm like plant based or something like that, or I don't really care about it as much as I used to, but it's kind of cool.
I love calling myself an omnivore
Yeah.
because I eat meats and I eat plants or a herbivore or something like that. But
Yeah, today, guys, the only thing that we're going to be talking about is labels, okay? Just kidding. But okay, so we're gonna go on to the next topic other than labels, and we're gonna be talking about our favorite energies to channel. What are some of your favorite energies to channel?
I have a lot of energies that I like to channel. It's such a if we want to get into story time for just a minute, then
For
I will
sure,
tell
yeah.
you a
That's what it's all
story
about.
of my favorite energy. First of all, I am Dee Serby. Hi, everybody. I am an intuitive communicator, just like we were talking about. But I haven't really developed those skills except maybe the last couple of years recently, where I've actually given attention to,
Mhm,
and I'm not even going to call them gifts, I'm going to call them skills because I feel like everybody has skills, right?
mhm.
So, and it's just something that you can learn. And so, what I would say, I have to hold my phone, so I'm trying to get it in the right spot. What I would say is probably my most favorite energy to communicate with would be one of the first ever energies that ever like stepped through in my life. And this goes back to if you don't know about me, I am a veteran and I've been in the Air Force and I
Mhm.
have I had an experience where I was going to be deployed and I was going to be deployed to the Middle East and in the military, whenever you do that, you all have to come from around America and go to the same training courses so that we're all on the same page once we get over
Mhm.
to, wherever we are going to defend. And so I was at a training course in Texas, and it just so happened to be the anniversary of a man who was killed in action on that exact same day. And the people from his unit decided before our class started that they were going to get up in front of the class and they were going to ask for a moment of silence for this
Mm-hmm.
this man. And I won't give his full name because I don't want to bother the parents or the family if they're grieving, but I'll just say his name is TJ. And so just imagine me standing there in a classroom full of, military personnel, and we're, so alpha top and everything.
Yeah.
And this member from his unit gets to the front of the line and of the front of class and says, I just want to let you know that today is the anniversary of TJ's death, and we could just do a moment of silence. And so before this, I had been a little bit aware. Oh my gosh, she's coming through. My nose is already running. Sorry. But before that, I was a little bit aware of my gifts, but I wasn't my abilities, but I wasn't like fully invested in like what to do with it or how to do anything with it. And so we all bowed our heads and had a moment of silence, and it was like an energy came in that I have never felt before, and it just like lit my whole body on fire. Like it was just this tingling of energy, and it felt like a world full of love.
Wow.
And it was so amazing. And we got done and we all opened our eyes, and then we proceeded through the class, and all through the class I just get this voice in my head, you got to tell him thanks, you got to tell him thanks, you got to tell him thanks, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't even know, how do I do that, and so I went and found the man that got in front of the class at our next break, and I just like approached him and I said, hey, I don't know what you think about this, but I just need to tell you that TJ's really happy that you did that, and he's really proud that you remember him, and he just really loves you. And the guy, he just kind of like, looks at me like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. And that was probably the first time that I actually delivered a message from spirit. And afterwards, I just had so much relief. And so long story short, I started getting a lot of messages from TJ.
Wow.
A lot of messages would come through as I was preparing for this deployment. And the main message was just pretty much like, you're going to be protected, you're going to be fine, I've got you. And he's kind of from the east, and so he would come through and he'd be like, what's up, doll? And I'm like, who says that? So I went through my deployment, and I would get a lot of reassurance and a lot of messages from TJ. And even, I prepared energetically for the deployment as well. And so I would go to energy workers and to get Reiki, and like my Reiki master that taught me, and she just picked up on TJ's energy right away. She's like, who is this young man with you? He's handsome and he's protecting you. I'm like,
That's funny.
so yeah, I had a safe deployment. TJ got me through it, and I came back, and there was a couple of months afterwards, he just kind of like showed up at one of my meditations, and he had put his arms around my shoulders and hugged me, and he just kind of like said goodbye. Like he just kind of stepped back, if that makes sense. So TJ is my favorite person to channel, and I can call him in. It's kind of almost similar to how Kristen called in Eric, or something like that, because he's a younger, he was killed in action. He had the same job that I had in the military, and actually his job, I'll tell you a little bit about him because I'm proud of him. His job was, he was the security over the canine handlers. And so, yeah, if you have a dog handler, then they are totally focused on that dog, and they can't like use their weapon very well as well. So if you're going out on a patrol, and he was patrolling in Afghanistan, and he was security for this canine, they were looking for, the Taliban, and he went over a berm and there was Taliban, and they shot and killed him right there. So it was pretty, but he's like really come through with a lot of reassurance and safety, and also there was just a lot of confirmation with his presence. But that was probably it was my first message that I delivered, and it was my first like hearing channeled messages and being able to communicate, and then having it confirmed through other people. So that's my favorite. Now
That's
it's your
so
turn. Let's
cool.
hear your story.
That is super cool. I know that it's really cool that you've, been to the military. You've done a lot of different things like going to the military, and that's a very masculine environment. I
Yeah.
it must be kind of difficult, you're so light filled, but you also have that toughness about you, like you can just do whatever, like you even did a bodybuilding show at one point, I think you said you did, which is super cool. And yeah, it's pretty insane. Was it difficult, going into that type of masculine environment sometimes?
Yes. The answer is yes. But this is the thing, like, it's so needed. It's just so needed because there were so many times on my deployment where people would seek me out and just look at me and be like, why you're so happy like all the time. I just want to talk to you. Like, how are you doing it? Like, this sucks. We're in the desert. It's just not fun. And it just really, that's why I have the name of my YouTube channel is In the Moment, because
Mhm.
like your life can suck, but in this moment, my life is great because I'm here with my friends or something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like, in the military, you were able to find that light in the moment like that. And then when you come back into the real world, you're like, oh, this is easy. I did it in the military,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it works so good. Also, I just retired this year as a local sheriff. So,
Mhm.
I had 20 years of being a local sheriff here, and that taught me also. I'm very empathetic. Like, I can solve things peacefully way better than otherwise. But if
Most
I
men,
have to, I'm not that intimidating. I just show up and like get
yeah.
mad at them with a stern mom voice, and it works usually.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be really good at that because, a lot of, being, in law enforcement, you're supposed to de-escalate a lot of the time, and you got to be able to sense the situation. You can't just come in there all macho and, do things like that, like a lot of them
Yeah,
do.
it's helped me. Like, if I knew we were going into a dangerous situation, I would, if I knew who was involved, I would talk to their spirits or source or oneness before I went into a situation and just tried
Wow.
to ask to mitigate it. I mean, there were so many times where individuals would have a mental breakdown or it be in crisis, and I could show up and channel positive life force energy into the situation, and I've had a very safe career, believe it or not.
Hmm.
So,
That's really
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was going to talk about is I think I've channeled. So like when I'm in the grocery store, or sometimes like when I'm keep going back to a certain restaurant or something, and then someone's guardian angels sometimes like, try to contact me, and I won't always say something all the time, or sometimes I will say, "Oh, do you believe in angels or anything like that?" And a lot of times they'll be like, "No." But they're guardian angels like right there. But I mean, sometimes when I say that, I even said it to someone in like a clothing store. I was like, "Do you believe in angels?" Because I sense a lot of angelic energy around, and she was like, "Yeah, I have
Oh,
them
yeah.
around me while I'm working, to help with the energy here, which is kind of cool." But I don't really, relay messages all that often to people, except in readings, I do. But
Yeah.
out in public, I don't do it as much, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I would say my favorite energies to channel, and I would love for you guys in the comments that put your favorite energies to connect with or channel. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. But I think I really like channeling Jesus. He's just really, you know, he always has some really cool things to say, and like I just like having his energy around. But I would say probably one of my favorites also is, channeling the blue avians. I really like,
Oh, yeah.
channeling them. They're pretty fun to channel, even though they can be kind of intense at times. I feel like my vessel is just kind of built for it. And, growing up, like I always could never sleep. I always felt like something was watching me. Even like when I was a kid, I was like, I just felt weird. I could never sleep at night. And even to this day, I don't really sleep all that much. I only sleep a few hours per night. But later
Really?
on, I found out that that was due to so many avian like lifetimes that I had, and I was just like, okay, I guess this is how it's gonna be, sort of. It's pretty insane.
Do birds not sleep? Is that like a
No,
characteristic?
well, I think no, I think birds sleep. It's just like
I had a parakeet, but
they probably don't sleep as much as like humans do, you know, and like especially in, you know, these extraterrestrial type of bodies, you know, it's a totally different energy, and it's everything's energy as well as you know. And then when
Yeah.
you have that type of energy that's really like hyperactive like that, like like when you call on the blue avians or connect with them, it's very almost like ADHD sort of like that. And
Yeah.
when that comes into a physical body, they feel trapped. You know, they can't fly. Like you can't fly in a human body and things like that. You feel trapped. And I've heard a lot of star seeds that come here on Earth. They kind of feel trapped here on Earth. You know, they when they come into this body, they feel trapped and doesn't feel good to them. Just kind of cool. But I know you've been Pleiadian, right?
Yeah. I'm a couple. Okay, so this is so fun. If you get a chance, take the Starseed Origins course. That is a fun course. I mean, not all Kristins courses are good. I mean, your courses. I guess I could, since I'm a teacher, our courses. But yeah, I've been, it's called Blue Stud Muffins, is what they wanted us to refer them to. So they're like these blue, muscly, like strong energies. That's kind of my number one, and my number two is Pleiadians,
That is
which I
so
love
cool.
too. So
Yeah.
here's the comment. D, when you channel messages, do you hear the spirit's voice or your voice? Babette, I'll answer your question really quick. So in the beginning, it sounds like my own thoughts. And then the more that I do it, it starts to maybe pick up an intonation or a character of who I'm channeling. And but the thing that will throw me off is different words that the channeled energy is putting in my mind that I wouldn't normally use. Like I channeled Freya the other day, and she said "blessed be," and I'm like, who says that? And then I did research, and I guess that's what they say in that part of the world.
For sure. Wouldn't you say that they kind of use at first they kind of use your vocabulary and like how you would say things at first and your thought processes, they kind of speak through that a little bit?
Yes, I'm telling you, when I first started, I had no idea it was even a thing. And what you have to do is you have to just like take your ego and put it somewhere else and say, what if? What if? And so, how I actually started with messages, because I didn't know that I could speak or think, is I did automatic writing. And with TJ, I would like I'd meditate for 10 minutes. I would think of a question and I'd close my eyes and I would just let myself write. And I was closing my eyes. And so that taught me a couple, like the writing's like halfway on the page and halfway off. But, you know, I couldn't think about it too much because then that would throw me out of it. And so that kind of taught me that spirit speaks so fast, right? Do you get that?
Yes, a lot of times. And you'll start to pick up over time, over channeling different energies, that different energies are going to deliver messages in different ways. Some of them it's going to come in all at once. You know, sometimes like the first, for example, like you were saying, automatic writing or something. One of the first times I connected with my higher self was through automatic writing. I was just, if any of you else have done this in the comments, you just sit in meditation like Dio was saying, and then kind of get deeper into meditation, and then you can connect with your higher self or something, and the energy just floods in all at once, and it's like almost, it's hard to write it all down at once. I noticed it's pretty funny, but it was pretty amazing, you know, experiencing the love that, you know, our higher self has for us, and you know, the divine in general just has for us. Just experiencing even a little bit of it is so amazing. And I think that's what really helps open me up when you can feel the energy. And this is what we really work on in the course, guys. You know, just feeling the energy. You don't always have to pick up on the words of things.
No.
And I can tell you, I've done many readings with people with not even being able to, you know, pick up on the exact words. I usually try to pick up on the feeling a lot too. That is very important. And so I thought that was, you know, pretty cool.
Would you call yourself like more of one Claire than the other? Like Claire knowing, Claire sentient, Claire. Yeah.
I'd say my Claire knowing and my Claire sentience work really well together. Like,
yes.
So For sure.
And my clair audience and my clair visual, I think that takes a little bit of training to realize that those pictures in your head are like, it feels like your imagination. To me, it feels like a memory, or I'm imagining. And so, you know, a lot of I think that beginners, man, that's where the sauce is. If you're a beginner, because you have no preconceived notions of what it should be like. And so beginners just go into things and they just say whatever happens happens, because I don't know how it should be. So yeah,
That's
this
a great
beginner's
point.
course, isn't it? Yeah, I love, like, when I start doing a lot of it and then I have an expectation on myself to do it a certain way, then I don't like flow as easily as if I'm a beginner. I'll be like, what if, you know, you just don't have an expectation, so it works better.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that when you go into the course, you get to speak to us, the teachers, and if you're scared about anything or just anything, we've been doing this for a long time, or for a while now. So we've kind of seen, you know, the patterns and people and the patterns and how spirit comes in. You know, when I first started, when I was meditating and things like this, I would always have this, you know, this thing tapping on the side of my head. I didn't know what it was. It was like over and over again. And I was like, is this something negative? But or something, I just I couldn't understand it. And then I would later find out, you know, it's either my guardian angels or it's Archangel Michael. You know,
Yeah,
you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's
no.
what this course is really set up to do, is just guide us into the right path. And then you can just soar from here like you have.
Yeah, it comes in clutch. I mean, today I was thinking, you know, how long has it? I think that I just took the beginner's course maybe 2 years ago, and now I'm getting full readings to people, like 1 hour readings. And um, I'm not saying that I'm 100% accurate, because a lot of the things that I get are feelings, and I'm trying to express that with my words, and it doesn't always go together. I mean, I can pull back and say, okay, could you please spell that? And it, you know, or give me a word to be a little bit, you know, better understood by whoever I'm giving the message to. But for the most time, you know, I've just really enjoyed connecting with spirit, to calm myself. Like, when I'm giving a message, it puts pressure on you, right? Does it? And so you're like, oh, they're either going to think I'm weird, or I've got to be like so
For sure.
spiritual with this message, or they're going to think, you know. So all those, you know, misconceptions about channeling too, I wanted to ask you, what are some misconceptions that you had about channeling before, or that you've run into, or that you think are common?
Well, a lot of people think that, you know, when you are starting to channel spirit, everything's gonna, you know, activate all at once, and that's not necessarily how it happens for most people. For most people, it's going to be more of a gradual process, and rightfully so. You don't want everything coming in at you at once. Like,
No.
I've had that happen before. You know, some people might have an initial experience, like really initial experience, like Kristen had her guardian angel, you know, open up to her in her hospital bed or something. And I had, you know, energy all flooding at once, you know, after I was coming off marijuana substance one time back in the day. And,
Yeah.
but then after that, it happens at a more gradual pace for most people, I would say, when they are doing that. But like you said, you know, when you're relaying information to someone else, it can be, it can be difficult at times, because yeah, you're thinking about what they're thinking about what you're saying, and then so it's a lot of things going on in your head at once. And one of the things that has helped me, and this is one thing we talk about in the course as well, is you can ask for shielding from the other person that you're channeling from or channeling for. That's one thing that I do sometimes in the readings that will do, and sometimes people's energy is affecting me a little bit, so I will just tell the angels, oh, can you shield me from the energy a little bit, and then I'll just stare off to the side the entire reading and channel for them. I won't even look at the
Oh,
entire
that's a
reading.
good idea. That
So,
is a good idea. I'm gonna have to try that on my next reading.
yeah.
Because I'm like, does this, like, I try to explain what I'm seeing, and sometimes I look at people and be like, oh yeah, they used to say that, or that resonates. I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, sometimes I can channel better for people when they don't have the camera on too. Like sometimes like some people don't want to come on camera with you when you're giving them a reading, and sometimes it's
Yeah.
easier that way because you're not seeing the reaction there.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I've grown up with a lot of misconceptions about channeling, and I grew up in a very religious home, and it was actually a belief that only men could channel.
Wow. That's a weird one.
Yeah, and so
And
I
then you
mean,
come in.
well, you knowing what you know about my history, it's like that gender doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I can do whatever you're doing very easily, and also, there's still a big misconception that channeling is like only for evil, or you're gonna tap into energy that is not good for you. And I just haven't ever had that be the case. Even
Yeah.
when we channel energy that doesn't feel good, we still have the ability to have Archangel Michael just ask for it to be removed, or
Hmm.
Jesus, or whoever you're working
Hmm.
with, and everything goes back to homeostasis, just normal energy. I mean, after a
Yeah.
while, but that all takes belief, and it all takes practice and the knowing, which I learned in the courses, that you do have control and you do have the ability to set boundaries. So if you're having these abilities show up in your life and you are not seeking the help on how to manage it or what the signals mean, then yeah, it might be scary. Just like you were saying earlier, it might be scary. Like, what is this tapping? Or, why is my left ear always ringing? Or why am I feeling anxious when I go to this particular house? All
Hmm.
that stuff. We learn what those energy signals actually mean in the courses.
Hmm. For sure. And
Yeah.
if you guys don't know, it's coming up on December 1st to the 14th. It's a 2 week long course. One thing I don't like about some courses is they're way too long, you know. And the cool thing about this course, you hit it, and then you can quit it, and then afterwards you can just your channel's still open afterwards for months on
Yeah.
end. And I like the thing you were saying about also, yeah, just taking the ego out of it and just letting go. You know, that's why you're so good at channeling, is because you're so free flowing, and you just let go, and you don't
Yeah.
have to be involved with like the ego part of it, egocentric or preconceived notions of it too much. And the more free flowing and more you let go, I usually see that those people are the ones that progress the fastest, because they're just more connected to the heart, I think. And that's one
Yeah.
thing we talk about a lot in this course, is getting connected to the heart. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're channeling, they only channel from up here. And I'm not as good at channeling from up here as I am down here. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I know your
Well,
husband said something about he loves channeling Mother Earth.
oh,
I noticed both of you are very connected to Mother Earth, and do you have
yeah.
anything to say about that?
Probably. I hope it's okay if I share this a little bit, but the first time that I did Reiki on my husband, Mother Gaia came through his heart chakra, and that's the first time I actually had her put words in my head, and the love was beyond. Like, it was so, so good. But we've both just found, our happy places in nature 100% in the outdoors. And my husband has he really works a lot with the outdoor community, and he has different companies that we work with, and so we're able to like relay this message of the connection that we have with source through nature, outdoors, spirituality, sustainability, like those returning to our roots. And Paul is native, my husband, and so I think
Wow.
it's part of his blood.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a friend that does a type of hunting. I think it's called tracking or something, but he feels so one with the earth and so
Yeah.
primal, like while he's doing it. And he just feels, I don't know, like he loves like fishing and things like that, doing all that kind of stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
like something about him that just like makes him like seem so grounded and cool.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Well, you don't usually have your phone in your hand or distractions of work or emails or whatever is,
Hmm.
you're just able to be and, use your eyes to look around you and feel the breath of the wind on your face. Like there's just so much positive that comes with it. If I spend a week in the backwoods, it feels like I've spent 24 hours. Like time just goes by so fast in those situations. It just reminds you. I am the best at channeling when I'm in nature. That's why I kind of do those mountain messages
Oh
because
yeah.
yeah, they just like it comes to me so easily when I'm in nature.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked out Dee's channel yet, I really recommend checking that out. So, what is the actual name of the channel? I know.
It's called In the Moment with D. And
In the
so
moment
it
with
used
Dee.
to be just be In the Moment. It's on YouTube. And nobody could find me, so I had to add with D. So In the Moment with D, and you can see. But
I
yeah,
love
I
that.
saw, was it Faith that mentioned that she felt Freya earlier? Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Yeah, I just barely did that channeling video. Her energy was strong.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, she's definitely stepping forward right now for some reason.
Yeah, let's channel a message from Freya. That would be a great one
Oh,
to
you
do.
want to channel Freya right now? Okay.
Yeah, if she's here, we might as well. And the thing is, I've channeled Freya, I think once or twice maybe, but I've also channeled Callie as well, and she's very fiery. I don't know
I
if you
love
guys
Callie. Boy, Callie will make you sweat, right? Callie will
yeah,
make you sweat.
yeah, I can't
And
imagine you channeling Callie.
well, I don't hardly ever do trance channeling. Like that's something that's kind of new for me. I mean, I've done it a few times, but never on camera. That was the first time I've done it actually on camera. And I'm like, just whatever. Just put it up there. If you like it, then great. If you don't, it's great too.
Yeah.
But, okay. Like she's kind of like she's coming into the back of my heart and coming through. I can feel Freya. And she's just kind of like surveying. She's kind of looking around at
Hmm.
everything, and she's kind of making fun of me how I said blessed be earlier, and that's how she's greeting me right now, is she's saying blessed be. Let's see, I'll see if she has any message. I'm getting a lot of love. I'm getting a lot of like promotion. She's very happy that we are having the courage to step forward and connect with energies in the way that we are as of late. This has not been 10 years ago was completely different than it is now. And you can see how society is evolving and changing with the times and finding the oneness with everything around. That's the message
Hmm.
that she sent to me.
That is awesome.
You tell me what she said to you. I mean, she's still here.
Let's see. She's kind of adding on to what you're saying, finding that oneness within you, coming together. It's like you and I coming together, this oneness of all of us in this chat as well, just coming together, talking about this stuff, listening to this stuff. It's a very high vibrational energy.
Hmm.
And she's like kind of showing me it like expand out and encompassing a lot more than we think that it's a lot bigger impact than we think that is happening, which is kind of cool. She's just like talking about a few different things, about a lot of people are feeling like they're maybe not doing enough or something when it comes to spirituality, or maybe feel some lack thinking, or maybe they don't feel enough or feel worth it. And it's important to recognize these beliefs, these thoughts, and say, oh, we don't have to identify with these. They're just, coming in and out, and then we can let them go. She's talking about you and
Oh,
about
wow.
you building that self-worth from within you. From an early age, which is kind of cool.
Oh.
So she's just pointing out that sometimes it can take time to, you know, build, you know, that self-worth within you. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. Some of you might see Dee on here, like, wow, she's so, you know, vibrant, and she loves herself and all this stuff, but not everyone's going to be there at first. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Freya.
She
Nice
is
energy.
very cool. Yeah.
I think she usually comes in a little bit more fiery, I think, but I think she's trying to calm me down a little bit. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, she has a lot of love too. It's there's a lot of love, like she wants us to go to oneness. Like go to oneness. But everybody is included in that, just exactly like you were saying, the circle and it's like how we reverberate to those around us is how we are going to change the perception. We are going to create a better world. Like she's showing me all these different images just like that too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, don't give me like my self-worth. Trust me, I got back from my deployments. I had PTSD too, so it's a roller coaster. Like, trust. Yeah, there's ups and downs in this happiness. I just try to choose happy more often. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it can be very lonely. I notice for a lot of people, especially on a spiritual path. I notice difficult for me to find other people, especially that are my age, so I tend to be friends with people that are a bit older, and it just makes it better for me, because a lot of the people, you know, my age are just like either playing video games or things all the time or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's great that we can come together like this and do things like this. If any of you guys have any other questions for Spirit in the comments, you guys can let us know, and then we can channel for you.
Yeah, let's do some Q&A. I see that Faith said she's coming in strong to the heart chakra. Felt that too. Her message: I'm honored to be here with you. The rise of the divine feminine energy on your planet is much needed at this time. Know that you're loved so dearly. Oh, goosebumps on that. Yeah. It's like she's kind of like this loving warrior, right? That's what I feel when I channel. Like she comes from a force. She's not taking any crap, but I'm saying, like, I don't know. She's a really cool energy, and I didn't know anything about Freya, and that's another thing too. Is Freya could be considered an energy that is, you know, full of witchcraft or bad things, and it's just everybody's perception is all over the place, and it's not until you feel the energy for yourself that you can go inside and know if it is has positive intentions or negative intentions, or that's even duality. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think it's very important to just pay attention to how you feel.
Yeah.
And not think about the preconceived notions you have about things, or the ego that you have about certain things when you come into this stuff. Because the most closed-minded people that I see under my videos, they're usually Christian. And they usually are saying, oh, you're being deceived, oh, you cannot do this, no, you're being deceived, and all this, they're tricksters and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, you can stay over in your lane, because I don't really want that energy around me anymore.
Yeah.
It's not important to think like that. I don't think being paranoid all the time like that. That is very low vibrational frequency, being paranoid like that all the time.
No, and the interesting thing, I was raised Christian in a religious household, like you said, but another one of my favorite, like I debated, do I talk about Buddha or do I talk about TJ? Because I love Buddha and I'm not Buddhist. Like his energy is just like so happy and uplifting and loving and just so reassuring. I love channeling Buddha. I just have a connection to him as well. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, you just have to like really try different energies, and all you do is focus on that energy and feel it in your body. And yeah, look at Babette, she's getting it right on. Yes, warrior energy. Freya's warrior goddess, Blue says. I mean, yeah, you can feel it, right? You can feel whatever energy you call in. And in the course, we even experiment by calling in energies that might make us uncomfortable. Not bad, or just might make you uncomfortable. Like when we call in a little bit of some of the extraterrestrial energies, they might make you, just because we're not used to feeling it, it just might make you uncomfortable. And so that leads you to know what that feels like in the future, and we know how to do it in a safe way.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like a matter of preference. You know, you prefer one energy over the other or something like that. Maybe you like Archangel Metatron more than Archangel Michael or something, or maybe you like both of them. So I think that's the really cool thing. We do get to experience a lot of different energies in the course and things like that. Go ahead.
I think let's do Toma. I say, she says that is there any messages from the dragons? It's so funny that you say that, because as I was getting ready for this live, I was charging my chakras so that I could, you know, be in tune with the energy. And who came in to do it? A dragon. I'm like, okay, dragon, do this thing. So let's do you want to see if there's a message from the dragons?
For sure.
Okay. Okay. They're very happy that we're connecting. But what I'm getting, I guess I'm gonna go first. Are you okay with that?
Yes, go ahead. I'm not getting a whole lot right now. So.
Well, they immediately came through telling me they're not necessarily happy with how they're portrayed on TV. I don't know why they're telling me this right now. But they're like, we're bringers of change. We're bringers of change. And we are able to assist humanity in the changes that you want to see. And all you have to do is call on us. And sometimes in the media, we're portrayed as vicious beasts that wreak havoc. And even though we can bring a change about, we're not into bringing havoc in the way that we're portrayed. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Maybe they're talking about those Game of Thrones shows or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, did you see that one?
I think I watched like a little bit of it, but I didn't really get into it that much.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's also pretty. There's a lot of negative aspects and not a whole lot of light aspects in it, which I was, I was like, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I wish there was some more lighter aspect, because there's a lot of negativity in that show.
You know what they're telling me right now? We much prefer our likeness being used in a roller coaster. Like, have you been to an amusement park and they use like a dragon? Because that's fun.
Yeah, have you ever been to that Universal? I know they have dragons. Really.
So Gina says, what does dragon energy feel like? It feels. You answer that one, Paul. You tell them what to say.
I've not connected to dragons very often, but what I sense of this energy right here, of course, there's going to be different dragon energies that probably feel different, but this energy right here feels very flowy to me. Kind of reminds me of, like, in Chinese culture where they have the little dragons going back and forth.
Yes, I keep on doing this. Yeah, I keep on doing that with my hands, because that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's very, this energy is very good at like transmuting. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of like a phoenix type of energy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'm getting overheated, actually. Like they're speeding up my heart and my chakras. Like they're speeding me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dragons are just asking us to call on them. They bring about change, and they want to transmute. When we're feeling anxious, or when we're feeling like we're stuck, they want to come in and move the energy. That's kind of why I'm feeling that, like, like the breath of fire, moving the energy up and down the chakras. That's what I'm feeling as from dragon energy.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't connected with dragon energies that much, but they're pretty interesting, pretty cool. Okay, so next we're gonna shift directions a little bit, and we're gonna channel an archangel.
Okay.
Okay, you guys might feel a shift in energy in the chat, but let us know if you do. So, which archangel do you think that we should start off with?
I mean, I do have Michael here, but it feels like he's always here with me, so I don't know if that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead with Archangel Michael. He's a safe bet. He's always good, isn't he? I'm gonna go ahead and channel a message from him and see what he has to say for all of us in the chat.
Perfect.
He's saying love is always a great place to start, leading from the heart. You can't go wrong with it. He thinks it's very important, you know, on planet Earth to feel the energy that is around you, that is around your proximity, the environment that you're in, the people that you're around, and just to feel that, not to analyze it from the analytical brain or observe it from up here, but to feel the energy, and you'll pick up on things a lot more, and you'll pick up on things faster, whether you want to be around that situation or not. So if you're watching a certain TV show like Game of Thrones or something and it doesn't feel that great, maybe it might feel thrilling or something, but you know, may not feel light-filled. So he is just here to help usher us towards the light in all facets of our life and our reality. And it's going to take time for some of us to start to shift more and more as the earth shifts as well. So he's just saying, let's get on the same page as the earth that is shifting at this moment. That's why it's very important to ground ourselves and to start shifting along with the earth. Because in truth, the earth is already shifted. It's just waiting for the collective consciousness here on earth to shift. But it may take some time. But he says, remember, everything is energy. So you focusing on the light-filled aspects of your reality or life, that's what you will create more of. You don't need to focus on what's around you, whether it's in the news or what's happening in the world all the time. It is not going to serve you. And he's saying we don't necessarily want to create more of that either. So why not focus on the light-filled aspects of our reality? And then he's saying, for example, going out in nature, things like that. This is very high vibrational. And that's all he has to say.
I've gotten that exact message from him. This time, he's telling me, he's reminding me that learning how to differentiate and understand the energy is exactly like learning a new language. And it's going to be a language that everybody's going to be able to speak, but it's going to take a few years. Mm-hmm. Just like when a baby learns how to speak whatever language they are, they first know how to feel, and then they understand how to put it into words. And that's kind of the example that he's giving me as where we're at in learning energy, learning telepathy, learning communicating through thoughts and feelings and visions. It's something that we all are capable of, and we all are on the path. But unless you have an event in your life, you're not going to just wake up tomorrow and be able to, see and communicate fully. It's something that you need to work on, just as a baby works on how to speak. You may get one or two words, you may get a sentence, and then before you know it, you're going to be speaking multiple languages. And so that's how you need to look at channeling and communicating, and always focus on your heart. Just like he said to you, that's what he's saying to me as well. So that's a cool way to look at it. He's never explained it to me like that before.
Yeah, and I've heard them say this in the past, that, once you get to a certain point, there's really not a whole, there's no need to keep practicing over and over again. So like, for example, I've been doing this for a while, so they don't really, maybe practicing more and more and honing my skills would help some, but they don't necessarily want me to keep practicing all the time, because I just don't need to. And they're saying, for the people that are, what they've said in the past, for the people that are ready for this, these abilities will come online a lot faster and a lot easier. And talking spirit will be more of just like you and I talking right here, right now. It will be much, much easier in the future, because the energy on Earth is lifting. Like you said, even 10 years ago, the energy on Earth was totally different than it is now. It feels different to me.
Yeah, I agree with that so much. Another, it's just, we have to get to a place where it's okay to ask, and it's okay to say what if, and it's okay to believe that this is real. And I think that every day we're getting closer and closer to that, and finding a community where you can express yourself and not be looked at like you're weird. You know what I mean when I say that? I mean, I love weird, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I was always the weirdest kid in my class, the weirdest guy in my friend group. It was funny.
Yeah, but that's one of the greatest things about taking these online courses, is that you are in a community where you're safe to talk about whatever you want to talk about, to experience different things. And it just creates the best way to practice, and know that what you're experiencing is what other people are experiencing more than we believe. Because if we don't talk about it, then everybody's just in their room at night saying, whoa, how come I just thought that I saw something in the corner of my eye, and we don't. I honor my weirdness. Yes, we love weird people. But
yeah, well, I mean, imagine coming in onto Earth. How are you supposed to change things if you're exactly the same as everyone else?
Yeah.
So I think it pays to be weird. It pays to be different, so that you can change things, or look at something different than what everyone else is looking at. Like being a sheep is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool.
Any other questions? Any other people that we want to? Does anybody have a question? Just type it in the comments. If not, I was going to ask you, what advice do you have for beginners, or someone who is just barely figuring out that they are having these abilities come online? What advice do you have?
A lot of grounding. That's always a great place to start, is just doing grounding, and finding guidance so other people can help you with these certain things. Because when I first started awakening, I was like, I don't know where to start. I was just going all over the place. It was not very healthy. So if you come at it from a grounded place, from people that know what they're doing, and believe me, Dee knows what she's doing, Kristen knows what she's doing, okay? And it's good to learn from people like this. Hi, Richard. Nice to see you. And yeah, it's very cool. And I'll tell one story about, like, when I was going to this yoga retreat, and we were learning about all these ancient Hindu energies, Krishna and things like that. And it was really cool. And every time that they would talk about a different energy, the entire energy of the room would change, and like Krishna would come in, and then Lakshmi would come in. It was really cool to like experience it like that, especially when I first, kind of started. And I was a lot more fearful. And it's okay if you, what I've noticed, it's okay if you like are a little bit fearful at first. Everyone's everyone's probably a little bit fearful of, channeling the energies. It's okay. Uh, that's one thing where when we have this learning environment in the course, that there's no fear involved. So it's very easy to, just get past those barriers of fear and start to channel like this. Because if you don't, okay, so everyone says, oh, I want to be able to be 100% to be able to channel, 100% connected, or 100%, I want to be able to see the energies and, receive the energies at 100% with everything. It's not gonna happen like that most of the time.
No. No, and that's another misconception I think a lot of people have is that, mediums, it's very rare. I'm not to that place where I can see spirit with my human eyes. I've only had that happen one time. And it still was like, did that even happen? It was I was getting a tour of a old like shut down jail. And I saw an entity with my eyes on the tier at the top of the tier who he was like from the coal mining era, and he was upset that we were bothering him. And I'm like, I'm getting out of here.
That's crazy.
But, a lot of times, yeah, just those preconceived notions that you're not doing it right if you're getting a message, but it's in your own voice. That's not true. Like, that's not true. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it will come in your own voice, but yeah, the faith, I totally agree. It was the catalyst. Highly recommend. I totally agree.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on the end here, but I think I was always the weird one. That's what Babette said. Really recommend the beginning class. A lot of fun with a lot of wonderful people. Yeah, Richard, it's really fun having young people like Richard, and I've noticed, having men doing these courses has been really cool, like Richard and others that are coming in, because it's difficult, especially if you're a guy, because, spirituality and stuff like that, that's kind of seen as more of a feminine thing that, oh, she's into, horoscopes and things like that. Oh, that's okay. But if you're a guy and you do that, it's a little different. A lot of guys think you're like weird or something if you do that, but it's whatever.
Kristen, I love guys. I love it when men do it too. It just creates more unity, like there's nothing, we're all divine like beings inside this body. It's just so relative to whatever this life is. Like in this current life, I'm thee. In these other 1,400 lives, I've been everything,
Yeah, it's really, if we look at the grand scheme of things, it's really kind of like an illusion that we're in, sort of.
Yeah.
And Kristen's putting your YouTube channel in the description. Make sure to go subscribe to Dee's YouTube channel. It's really good stuff. And mine. I'm probably going to be posting this on my YouTube channel, so if you guys want to check out that. And it might, if I post this to my YouTube channel, it might lag a little bit, and because when I posted on Facebook Live with Kristen and I, it sounds like she's talking over me every time because of the delay or something. It's really weird, but yeah, it's really weird. But anyways,
should we do one message for the group before we sign up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, who should we call in? Let's call in somebody. Or did we already call in Archangel Michael?
Archangel Michael, or we could do Mother Earth.
Him.
We could do Mother Earth. We could do.
Yeah, let's do Mother Earth. I love that.
For sure. That'd be a good way to end things off. I always like ending things off with Mother Earth because she helps to ground us.
Yes. Everybody call in Mother Earth's energy, and you can feel where she's coming up through my feet. She's making it up through my feet like roots, and she's coming into my heart.
What makes me want to sneeze?
Yeah. You ready?
Okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go?
I want you to go.
Okay.
I'm just feeling her.
Mother Earth is very happy to see
Yes.
us raising in consciousness. She sees this as really important to her. This raising in consciousness here on Earth. It's one of her main purposes is to develop the human species and for the human species to raise in consciousness and vibrational frequency. And she's very happy to have us upon her back, making these agreements with Mother Earth before we come in and seeing where things go. She is just kind of laughing a little bit on the free will ride of Mother Earth. We'll see how you do. But she's saying that in truth, this is just a school, an illusion, a school of growth and development of our soul, which is usually the ultimate goal when incarnating here on Earth, is having some sort of growth and communicating with different energies, expanding your channels, raising your vibrational frequency are great places to start when growing here on Earth. But that's what I'm getting from Mother Earth.
I was getting like right along with you. I was getting all these little images and just exactly how you were getting it. And she comes through me and she's calling us my spiritual antennas. Like that's what she's calling.
Spiritual antenna.
So much love, and she's calling us her spiritual antennas, and like we take the energy and the love and we bring it and we ground it into the earth, and she's so proud and she just loves us so much, and she's coming and she's like, I just love to help. I love to help you. So that's why it's so important. I can only ask so many ways. It's so important to get into nature, to put your bare skin, or even just imagine your energy going down into earth so that I can join with your energy and we can create a positive love upon the surface, a positive difference. And she also, when you were talking about we chose this, she was calling us like you volunteered, you're my volunteer like helpers, but in a warrior way. That's kind of what she's coming through. Like, you're my helper. Sure. You came here, you volunteered to come here to help me, and I'm just so eternally grateful for that. And she wants to just help us and help to keep the love flowing by, she's showing me grounding, she's showing me touching a tree, she's showing me just holding a plant and looking at it and connecting with it. Like, that is how we are taking our antennas and we're grounding that love energy all into the earth. Like, she's calling me the antenna, the love antenna.
That's so amazing.
She feels like, she just feels giddy almost, doesn't she? Like, just feels giddy, like so excited, like we're all in this together. I just get the biggest feeling that we're all in this together, and like you help me, I help you. That's what she's showing. So I love it.
I think, like you said, us coming here, bringing this light here to Earth. A lot of us are light-filled souls. And the Earth that societies here on Earth probably weren't very high vibrational before we started to incarnate here over and over again to try to raise the frequency of Earth. And like you said, and Mother Earth said, we're just instruments of source energy, instruments of love. We're like a tuning fork, a spiritual antenna, where we bring this light energy in and into the Earth. And, and the cool thing I like the relationship between us and Earth. It's a very balanced, energy that we exchange. It's not like, oh, we're bringing this light to Earth and Earth is not giving us anything. Earth gives much more, to us, like how you experience nature nature
Yeah.
gives back, doesn't it? Pretty cool.
I did, Richard. You're feeling lots of energy in the root chakra. I'm telling you, I was too. Like, I am seated in my chair. Like, I am grounded. I just love her energy. Like, it's calming. That's when usually she comes through. She's just so happy this time that she's come through. Why are you so happy? She's like, because you're doing it. That's like, that's what she says, because you're doing it. And she's just proud. She's just proud that we're stepping forward at this time and we're fulfilling what we came here to do. She's just like I'm getting goosebumps. She's so proud of us. Wow.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that. It's making you cry.
it was just so great. I love her. Yeah.
I love the energy of when someone's like very proud of you, or like the energy of, you know, being grateful. It's really powerful, high vibrational energy. It feels really good.
Yeah.
All right, Dee. Well, we made it through.
We made it through. Until next time.
It was a rocky start, but we made it through.
Hey, I'm excited to see you guys all in that beginner's course. It's just going to be such a high vibrational, worth every moment that you're in it. So I'm really excited for that course. December 1st, join before then. 2 weeks, man, you're going to be flying. It's just, even if you've already taken it, I've taken the beginner's course more than once. So it's just such a great way to practice and to connect with other people. It's a great course.
Yeah, for sure. I think we have about 10 people sign up so far, and it's been really exciting. And we got a lot of medium teachers to help everyone as well. So everyone's going to get their fill, if you know what I mean, when they join this course. But you know, I think this was we've left all of our links down in the description. If you want to check any of those out, feel free to go check those out. And bye everyone. Bye Richard. Bye. This is a great live, Dee.
It was so fun.
Bye.
See you next time. Thanks.
Yes.